What's up, everybody? Spunky991 coming at you another video. Coming at you with my week 4 schedule prediction video. Um, Week 3 was just a week of so many crazy surprises, man. NFL, you just never know in NFL. Just, any given Sunday, like they say, man. Um, you're just so unpredictable. You had the Minnesota Vikings lose to the Buffalo Bills. Unbelievable, man. I did not expect that, man. I did not expect the Bills going there, pretty much handled the Vikings. They dominated that game for most of the game. They dominated, and they came away with a very convincing win. Then you had New England Patriots, who lost to the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football. That was Matt Patricia versus his former boss Bill Belichick. Quite some surprises, man. You just never know in the NFL, man. It's a very unpredictable league, man. Like they say, any given Sunday, the team you least expect to win can win. It just depends on what team shows up. And that was just a week of so many surprises, man. You never know. And who knows, man? It might be quite some surprises this week as well. You just never know in the NFL. You never know. But you guys know how I do this, man. I go over the schedule for the week. And, of course, I say the Philadelphia Eagles game for last. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, the first game that's being played tonight at 8:20 p.m. Eastern, you have the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Rams. The Vikings lost their game in a crazy, unbelievable, I still can't believe it. They lost in a pretty much a blowout to the Buffalo Bills last week. The Los Angeles Rams were victorious in their game last week against the Los Angeles Chargers, the Battle of Los Angeles, of course. This game, like I said, is being played in Los Angeles. The head coach of the Minnesota Vikings is Mike Zimmer. The head coach of the Rams is the youngest head coach in the league, Sean McVay. For the Vikings, of course, you have Kirk Cousins at quarterback. You have Thielen and Diggs at wide receiver. Yeah, Dalvin Cook at running back. For the Rams, of course, you have Jared Goff at quarterback. You have Todd Gurley at running back. Both their corners, Peters and Talib, are out. Both of those guys are out. So that's gonna be I think that's gonna be a big blow to their secondary, of course. Having both of those guys out. You have Brandon Cooks at wide receiver for the Rams. On the defensive line, of course, you have guys like Ndamukong Suh and Donald Brown on the defensive line. This game's being played in Los Angeles, and I have the Rams beating the Vikings tonight to go 4-0. I think the Vikings will be 4-0 I think the Rams will be 4-0 after tonight. Now, moving on to the next game, you have the Buffalo Bills traveling to Green Bay to take on the Green Bay Packers. Buffalo Bills, like I said, had a very shocking victory against the Minnesota Vikings last week. The Green Bay Packers, they fell to the Washington Redskins in Washington. The Bills, of course, are led by quarterback Josh Allen. They have Sean McDermott at head coach. Shady McCoy, I'm not sure if Shady McCoy is playing or not. They have Kelvin Benjamin at wide receiver. As for the Packers, they are led by Mike McCartney, the head coach. They have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. They have Clay Matthews, who I thought got an unfair penalty for roughing the passer. I thought that was complete BS, that call, man. I think NFL is becoming very soft, in my opinion. But anyway, moving on, like I said, Clay Matthews at linebacker. They have Randall Cobb at wide receiver. This game's being played in Green Bay. Could the Bills shock the world again and beat the Packers? It wouldn't be as much of an upset they beat the Packers than they did the Vikings, but I could see it happening. But I'm gonna pick Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers to get the job done and beat the Bills. Next game, you got the Houston Texans traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Indianapolis Colts. The Texans, of course, lost their game to the Giants last week in Week 4. The Indianapolis Colts they lost their game to my Philadelphia Eagles last week. Bill O'Brien, of course, the head coach of the Houston Texans. You have the head coach of the Colts is Frank Reich. Quarterback for the Houston Texans is Deshaun Watson. They have Hawkins at wide receiver. As for the Colts, let me go. They also have J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney at on the defensive end. Now, as for the Colts, like I said, Frank Wright head coach. They have Andrew Luck at quarterback. They have Malik Hooker at safety. They have T.Y. Hilton and Grant at wide receiver. The Texans are winless. They're 0-3. The Indianapolis Colts are 1-2. This game's being played in Indianapolis, and I got the Colts beating the Houston Texans. Next game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. The Buccaneers, of course, lost on Monday Night Football to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bears, they won against the Arizona Cardinals last week. Cotter, the head coach of the Buccaneers. The quarterback of the Buccaneers, of course, is Ryan Fitzpatrick. They have Deshaun Jackson. They have Mike Evans at wide receiver. They have OJ Howard at tight end. They have Vinny Curry. They have Bo Allen, Jerry McCoy. Jerry McCoy at on the defensive line. As for the Bears, they have Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. They have Cohen and Jordan Howard. Cohen at wide at running back, and Jordan Howard at running back. Excuse me. They have Trey Burton at tight end. They have Khalil Mack linebacker. This game's being played in Chicago. I think this could be a pretty good game, actually. I think the Bears have the defense to hold the Buccaneers under a significant amount of points. If the Bears offense can get going, I think it could be a very entertaining game. But I think the Buccaneers are slightly the better team right now, for what I'm seeing. The Bears are not. The Bears offense is still not. It still has not really hit its stride yet. So I'm gonna pick the Buccaneers to go to Soldier Field to beat the Chicago Bears. Next game, you have the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins traveling to New England to take on the New England Patriots. Miami Dolphins are undefeated right now. New England Patriots are losers of 2 straight games. That's something that we have not said in quite a long time, especially in the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era. We have not said they have lost multiple games in a row. That's a rarity. The Miami Dolphins, of course, were victorious. They were victorious against the Oakland Raiders last week. New England Patriots falling to the Detroit Lions last week. Of course, Adam Gase, the head coach of the Dolphins. You have their quarterback. Of course, their quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. As for the New England Patriots, of course, they have head coach Bill Belichick, Tom Brady at quarterback, Hogan at wide receiver. I'm not sure if they're going to be playing Josh Gordon or not. They recently acquired him. And, of course, Gronk at tight end. I wouldn't be surprised. The Dolphins are undefeated. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 4-0 because they normally do play the Patriots are very tight games. AFC East rivalry. They normally do play them in very competitive games. But it's hard for me to bet against the Patriots, man. The Patriots, when they have their backs against the wall, man, they're angry. They come out angry and they look for revenge. And I think the Patriots, are not going to fall 3 straight games. I'll be surprised if they do. I'll be very surprised they lose this game. Actually, I wouldn't be because, like I said, they always play each other in very competitive games. But knowing Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, they're going to do everything they can, to not lose 3 straight games. So I'm going to give it to the New England Patriots to beat the Miami Dolphins. The next game, you have the Detroit Lions traveling to Dallas to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Detroit Lions, with an upset against the New England Patriots last week. The Dallas Cowboys, they fell to the Seattle Seahawks. Matt Patricia, of course, the head coach of the Lions. Jason Garrett, the head coach of the Cowboys. Quarterback Matthew Stafford of the Lions. You have Golden Tate at wide receiver. You have LeGarrette Blount at running back for the Lions. The Cowboys, of course, Dak Prescott at quarterback. They have Ezekiel Elliott at running back. They have Sean Lee at linebacker. This game is being played in Dallas. And Obviously I'll be rooting for the Lions to win this game, but I'm gonna pick the Cowboys to win this game. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna pick the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Detroit Lions. Next game, you got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Cincinnati Bengals, of course, lost to the Carolina Panthers last week. The Atlanta Falcons lost their NFC South rivalry game against the New Orleans Saints. Marvin Lewis, the head coach of the Bengals. Dan Quinn, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. The quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, of course, is Andrew Dalton. They have AJ Green at wide receiver. The Atlanta Falcons, of course, are led by quarterback Matt Ryan. They have Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu at wide receiver. They have Trufant at corner. This game's being played in Atlanta, and I got the Falcons winning against the Cincinnati Bengals. The next game, you have the New York Jets traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can't remember. Yes, I do remember. The Jets lost their game last week against the Cleveland Browns. The Jacksonville Jaguars lost their first game against the Tennessee Titans in the AFC South matchup. The quarterback, of course, of the New York Jets, of course, is Sam Darnold. The quarterback of the Jaguars, of course, is Blake Bortles. They have Doug Marrone, the head coach for the Jaguars. Of course, they have Leonard Fournette at running back. This game is being played in Jacksonville, and I'm going to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the New York Jets. Okay, moving on to the later afternoon games. I'm going to skip the Eagles-Titans game. That's a 1 o'clock game. I'll say that for later, for last, of course. So, putting that aside for now, moving on to the 1 o'clock Eastern games. You have the Cleveland Browns versus the Oakland Raiders. The Cleveland Browns getting their first win in 2 years against the New York Jets last week. The Oakland Raiders still winless. They lost their game to the Miami Dolphins. It is now officially the Baker Mayfield era in Cleveland. We'll see how long that lasts because they've been through so many quarterbacks, since 1999. We'll see if he finally is the guy that they've been looking for, a quarterback. Hugh Jackson, of course, the head coach of the Browns. You have the Oakland Raiders. You have John Gruden at head coach. But like I said, Baker Mayfield is officially now the starter in Cleveland. They have Jarvis Landry at running back. The Oakland Raiders have Derek Carr at quarterback. They have Amari Cooper at wide receiver. This game's being played in Oakland. And with the way the Raiders are playing right now and the Browns look pretty solid with Baker Mayfield out there. They look pretty solid out there once he took over. We'll see if he can do it for another week. I'm going to pick the Browns to beat the Oakland Raiders. It's been a while since I picked the Browns to win any game, but right now I think Baker Mayfield might, he might possibly be the guy they've been looking for at quarterback. Excuse me. So yeah, the Raiders have not really looked too impressive to me either. So I'm gonna pick the Browns to win that game. Now moving on to the next game, the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Seattle Seahawks getting the win against the Dallas Cowboys last week. Arizona Cardinals falling to the Chicago Bears. Of course, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks is Pete Carroll. They have quarterback Russell Wilson. They have the Griffin brothers on defense at linebacker and corner respectively. The Cardinals. The Cardinals are now starting. Sam Bradford was a starter, but now they're going to be starting Josh Rosen at quarterback. At wide receiver, of course, they have the long-term great Larry Fitzgerald, Patrick Peterson on defense. This game's being played in Arizona, and I got the Seattle Seahawks traveling down to Arizona and beating the Cardinals in the NFC West matchup. Next game, you have the New Orleans Saints traveling to New York to take on the New York Giants. The Saints were victorious in their game last week against the Atlanta Falcons. the Giants, of course, were victorious as well against the Houston Texans. Of course, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints is Sean Payton. Head coach of the New York Giants, of course, is Pat Shurmur. Quarterback on the New Orleans Saints is Drew Brees, who just broke the record for most pass completions, in NFL history, in a career. Congratulations to Drew Brees. I'm pretty sure he's gonna break many more before he retires. One of the greatest ever. The quarterback, of course, of the New York Giants is Eli Manning. They have Saquon Barkley at running back. They have Odell Beckham at wide receiver. Sterling Shepard as well as wide receiver. This game's being played in New York. New York, like I said, got their first. They got their first win against the Texans last week. But I think the Saints are gonna win this game. I think the Saints are the better team, and they're gonna win this game. Now, moving on to the next game, you got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The 49ers lost their game to the Chiefs last week. The Chargers lost their game to the Rams last week in the Battle of Los Angeles. Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. The quarterback, of course, of the San Francisco 49ers was Jimmy Garoppolo, but he appears he's going to be out for the rest of the year. He's with a torn ACL, so his season is done. You never want to see that happen to anybody, man. Nobody get hurt. Best wishes to Jimmy Garoppolo in his recovery. They have, of course, Richard Sherman, their corner as well, is out with injury as well. He's out with injury. I think Pierre Garçon is still there in San Francisco. As for the Chargers, of course, they have Phillip Rivers at quarterback, Mike Williams at wide receiver. This game's being played in Los Angeles, and the 49ers without Jimmy Garoppolo, I think CJ Beathard is going to be their quarterback. I'm not 100% sure on that. But, I got to pick the Chargers to beat the 49ers. All right, the Sunday Night Football game. You got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Trying to remember, I believe the Baltimore Ravens were victorious in their game last week. I believe they were. I believe they were victorious in their game last week. I could be wrong on that one, but I think they were. Let's see. Yes, they were. The Baltimore Ravens were victorious against the Denver Broncos last week. Yes. Okay, yes. So Baltimore Ravens were victorious. The Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, were victorious on Monday Night Football. This is one of the best rivalries in the league. A very highly competitive AFC North battle. You have the head coach of the Ravens, John Harbaugh. You have Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, of course, is Joe Flacco. Quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger. Webb is at safety for the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers is Antonio Brown. They have Juju Schuster as well, wide receiver. Connors is still starting in place of Le'Veon Bell, who's still holding out. This game's being played in Pittsburgh, and I got the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Baltimore Ravens. Now, moving on to the Monday Night Football game, the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Denver to take on the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs are on fire right now. Their young quarterback Patrick Mahomes, 13 touchdowns in 3 games. They're on a roll right now. Denver Broncos, they fell to the Baltimore Ravens last week. Like the head coach of the Denver Broncos, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs is Andy Reid. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes, like I said, is on fire. Tyreek Hill, wide receiver. What else? They have Kelsey as well at tight end. The Denver Broncos, of course, have Case Keenum at quarterback. They have Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders at wide receiver. They have Von Miller at linebacker. This game's being played in Denver. But with the way with the way the Chiefs are playing right now, they're on fire. I know it's an AFC West, division game. You never know. But the way the Chiefs are playing right now, they don't show any signs of me of slowing down. So I got the Chiefs beat the Denver Broncos. Now, like I said, always moving on. I saved the best for last. My team for last. The Philadelphia Eagles for last. I always saved them for last, man. My Philadelphia Eagles welcome back a returning Carson Wentz last week. There's a good chance that they might be welcoming back a returning Alshon Jeffrey this week. The Eagles got some bad news this week with Rodney McLeod. Rodney McLeod is probably done for the rest of the year he had surgery on his MCL. So Doug Peterson got to make some adjustments there. I would personally try to see if Jalen Mills can play better at safety than he does at corner. I would also you can also try Rasul Douglas. I think Rasul Douglas could play safety as well, but the final decision on that, of course, is up to head coach Doug Peterson. But yeah, my Philadelphia Eagles are taking on the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans, of course, were victorious in that game last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, their division rival. Eagles were victorious against the Indianapolis Colts last week. Mike Vrabel, of course, the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. I'm not sure. Marcus Mariota was on the bench last week. He came in later on in the game. I'm not sure if he's starting or not for them this week. Delaney Walker, their tight end, is out for the year. They have Dennis Kelly on the offensive line. My Eagles, of course, welcome back a returning Carson Wentz last week. Welcome back Wentz again. We have Jordan Matthews at wide receiver. Possibly Alshon Jeffrey. The final decision has not been made yet, but possibly a return to Alshon Jeffrey, which is very welcome. We have Nelson Aguilar, of course, at wide receiver. Kamar Aiken as well. Tight ends Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. Running back Jay Ajayi, Corey Clement, Darren Sproles. Defensively, of course, we have guys like Malcolm Jenkins, Derek Barnett, Chris Long, guys like that. You guys know, you Eagle fans especially know, we got guys like that. This game here, my Philadelphia Eagles are going to Tennessee to take on the Titans. It's in Tennessee, 1 o'clock game. I got my Philadelphia Eagles beating the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Yes, I have my Eagles beating the Titans in Tennessee. I'll give you my score prediction on that in my preview video that I released later on this evening. So there you have it, man. My week 4 predictions. If you have predictions yourself, leave them in the comment section. Tell me what you think. But as always, fly eagle fly. Let's go birds. Peace.